Renee, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. Every Wednesday, we come to you very excited to share some really exciting topics. We always say that they are timely and relevant. So, of course, this week we wanted to talk about love. Why does real love matters? Why does we want to talk to you about love because real love matters. Basically, that's the topic tonight, and I'm just excited. We've had a lot to talk about this week regarding love because it was Valentine's Day, and I hope you had a awesome Valentine's Day. And love is different for everyone. Perhaps you were able to receive really nice gifts and chocolate and flowers from your spouse. Perhaps it was your kids who gave you chocolate and flowers. And for some of us, we actually showed up for our community because however you show love, it's depending on how you want to show it. So tonight we have this topic because I wanted to have this in-depth conversation because I said to myself, love encompasses everything, just like money encompasses everything. If you don't have real love in your life, you're not going to be able to maximize your potential. So because of the week of love, I said, you know what, let's have a conversation to see how real love can really impact your finances in your life and your money. So without further ado, I would like to welcome all my awesome guests who are on tonight. And we have, who do we have here tonight? Oh my gosh, I have all the great ladies here tonight. Of course, Dawn and Lisa and Perpetuity. Dawn, why don't you go first? I love the backdrop that you have there. It says love all over it. And I remember seeing you on social media and you were doing something related to love. That's why I was like, you know what? Let's continue this topic. Go ahead, Dawn. Oh, Dawn is on mute?
Yeah, didn't want to, I don't know, I had some technical difficulties for some reason. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Queen Dawn Spirit. My YouTube channel is Queen Dawn Spirit Reiki Master Teacher, as well as my Instagram and my TikTok. I did a last-minute video on love, because that's what we were put here on this earth to do, is to love. That's why we chose to come here, is to love. And I love everything about the actions, the meaning of love, because I've always been a loving person from a child. And being a Reiki Master Teacher, I heal with love. That's what Reiki is healing with love. So I did a video that my 14-year-old granddaughter edited for me. And I wanted to express and heal people from love from past traumas, past relationships, and current relationships. Yeah. So when she asked me to be a part of your show, I was excited to be a part of this show because it's all about love.
Yeah, and you are you all about love, Dawn, and I really appreciate that about you because you're always showing love to your friends by supporting them. Of course, we have Miss Lisa here. Lisa, why don't you introduce yourself briefly? I see you wearing pink, Lisa.
I'm wearing pink, so keeping in the theme of love. I'm Lisa Worthy. I have a background in small to mid-tier business marketing. And to kind of tie that in with love, if you have a business or if you're working on a business, you put a lot of love into it. So your love will always produce more people to be attracted to you and what you do. And what love means to me just is through action, through friends, through family, even could be a meal. It could be doing something nice for someone that they didn't expect for it to happen. So I'm really excited to talk about this topic of love and also giving yourself experiences. So of self-love too. So whatever that means to you.
Definitely. And Miss Perpetuity Roberts, she's one of those women I found on social media. She's all the way in Canada. And because of her contagious kind of love, I was drawn to her, and we've been talking on the phone and chit-chatting. She's become more than just a social media friend. So why don't you introduce yourself briefly and the awesome work that you do?
Yes, thank you so much, Gabrielle, and thank you again to invite me in the show. My name is Perpetuity Roberts. I'm a naturopath, and I help people heal themselves naturally. In the field of naturopath, you really have to love nature. You really have to love people, and you really have to love nature because in naturopath, we don't really have machine or anything. It's the love, the contact, the love that we have for the clients that we are with that's make you all sometimes feel what's going on inside of that person in a we can say energy level, physical level, spiritual level. We understand, we feel, and the channel is love.
Yeah, love is everything for me. It's everything. If you don't have love, what do you have? You really have nothing. And just seeing like all of you, I'm drawn to all of you, younger ones and those who are closer to my age, and of course, older friends. It doesn't matter. You are drawn to people who you can relate to and who will inspire you and encourage you. And so of course our first question is, how did you show love this? You can share a little bit. How did you show love to your loved ones, or how did you show love to yourself during this Valentine's Day? And you can also answer what is real love to you as well. You can go ahead, Miss Queen.
So we were blessed this past weekend with our children coming from different directions. One of our children came from Boston. We have one already here, and then our other daughter and her partner came up from Atlanta. So we had a house full, and then a couple of their friends came over, and I fixed breakfast on Valentine's morning, and my stepson, he surprised me with rainbow roses. And my husband had already given me roses too. And he gave my daughters roses, and I fixed heart-shaped pancakes. And my daughter, she's a vegan, so I fixed her scrambled tofu, which is her scrambled eggs with vegetables, and we did it in a heart shape. And it was just spending time together with one another, because, with so much going on right now, we aren't able to be with one another. And for my mother, who's in a rehab, she's not very well, but I go there every other day to see her, and I decorated her whole room and her roommate's room with hearts and huge hearts and love. And I mean, it was just her room exploded with love. And she said it made her feel happy. And I even took our puppy, or our dog, Prince, to go visit her, because dogs are healers too. And they're so, forgiving, and they're very loving animals. So I was able to take him to see her in the rehab, and then made her heart so warm. She was so happy to see him, because every day she calls me, she asks about him.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was doing a training earlier this week, and someone mentioned that when the heart, you all should have a stone or something that says love on it at your house. Like I have part of my board here, I have the heart. I have two of them connected together, because it does something to your subconscious. I heard that whenever you see it, it really empowers you. Exactly, you should. I would encourage everyone who's watching to go get something that says either love or in the shape of a heart. So Lisa, how did you show love, or how did you receive love this Valentine's Day week?
This Valentine's Day, we went to Jamaica to show each other love. We figured we love experiences, and we enjoy our time together, trying new things, doing new things, going to new places. And so we both went on a trip to Jamaica, which was very, very nice. We did a couples massage and a romantic dinner, but we really don't really like, I won't say we don't like gifts. We love gifts, but I think we appreciate the new experiences that we have together, and that's how we show each other love.
Yeah, I like that you say that, because you said that because they talk about the different love languages. Mm-hmm. Some people like gifts, and other people, I'm an experience of a person. Don't bring me anything. I even have stuff in my house. You know what I mean? I'm trying to reduce, get rid of. So I rather, like you, the experience mm-hmm. of going to a new place and learning about something different. What about you, Miss Perpetu? How do you celebrate? You're on mute. You guys do not have to put yourself on mute, because it's really creating. Yeah.
So I wake up early my husband, on Sunday, I went to the garage, I washed his car for him. Oh. So because he went out with my car. And then I said, I'm gonna make a surprise for him. I washed the car myself for him. I did the whole car, outside, inside. I perfumed with essential oil, and I put a card with a chocolate on the wheel for him to love.
Oh.
That was, that men like their car to be really nice and clean. And he did not have the time. He was so tired working every day, and he don't even have the time to go to the car wash. So I did it myself. And I was like, really happy. I feel good. I think it was a gift for me to show him the love, something I do myself. Go to the car wash. It's me doing it for him.
Yeah, I mean, we show love in so many different ways, as I said earlier, because I mean, I was talking to a friend on the day of Valentine's, and he said that, oh, I just wrote a poem for my girl, just a poem, and she likes it. Because I was like, did you buy her flower and chocolate? Well, she's not into chocolate, and flowers are like twice as much, they cost twice as much, and he's very frugal. So he's like, I gave her a beautiful poem, and she loved it. So, we show love in so many ways. And so, love, to me, it's, love should always feel good. Would you say?
It feels good to give
you
love.
all agree?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I
it
forgot
feels
to
good.
mention that I bought my husband an Apple Watch.
Oh,
And
wow. that's
he
nice.
was like, Dawn, why did you spend this money for this watch? And I was like, because when you ride your motorcycle, I don't want you to have to worry about your cell phone, because one time he lost a cell phone, his motorcycle. So I said, you have an Apple Watch on, you can just put your phone inside your motorcycle when you're riding this season. And if you have to check your watch, and then it goes to your earpiece from your Apple Watch. I didn't even buy myself one. He was like, well, why didn't you buy yourself? I said, I don't want one, but I think you need one. So it made me feel good. I love giving gifts. That's just, because my husband's good to me, and he takes care of everything pretty much. So I just want to show him as much appreciation as possible, to show him how much I love him.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people say, I know a lot of people saying, like, why celebrate Valentine's? It's so commercialized. It's just like Mother's Day. We love our mothers every day, but of course it's nice to have a special day. And I know for me, as a Christian, I love Christ every day. But Christmas, the day that we as a collective decided that we want to celebrate, I want to show up on that day. And I think that's why I get excited, because I'm a person who loves to see people in love, and I love love. So therefore, I want to see everyone happy. But we know that the reason we want to have this conversation, because the topic tonight is real love matters, right? And so, because many times the love that we just talked about here, the kind type of love where people think about, how can I help my husband because he's tired? He's a provider. I want to show him appreciation. My husband likes to spend time. We like to experience new things. Let's do it together. Why is it that so much of the love that we see out there is hurting other people instead of loving other people? Dawn, you go.
You said, say the question again.
So how does love, why is it like some of the love that we see out there, quote unquote love, instead of loving, it's hurting? Why?
Well, love can hurt. That's why I did the video for healing. And some people don't know the true meaning of love. Action speaks louder than words. I remember when one Valentine's, we went away on a cruise with a few friends, other couples, and one of the couples got in an argument at the dinner table on Valentine's Day in a group full of people. And my husband was so upset about it, because he's like, this is supposed to be about love, and this is Valentine's night. And Michael left, and I stayed there because it was important for me to make them mend the fences. And I basically told them both, like, that's unacceptable. You guys loved each other. You love each other. Obviously now you're still together. You guys need to work it out. And people say hurtful things, and love can hurt you to the core. That's why you have to be careful what you say, because that tongue is the strongest muscle in your body. You have to be careful what you say, because it can break hearts. And after I finished talking to them, the next hour, they were taking pictures, loving pictures in her ball gown and him in his tux. And they actually mended fences that night. And I was happy that I stuck back and hung back and talked to them, and they worked it out. So yeah, love can hurt. You have to sometimes give tough love to your children and your friends. You can love a person from a distance. You don't have to allow them in your arena if they're going to hurt you either. So you have to set up boundaries sometimes with certain people, your certain loved ones. Doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. You just got to protect your energy.
Yeah, because love is, once you've loved somebody, I think it's impossible to not love them anymore. But going back to what you said, Dawn, you can love someone from afar because again, this show is about finance, money. And what are some of the ways that relationship affects our monies? Like in terms of like how the wrong type of love can really affect your financial bottom line. What do you say, Lisa?
I think it can affect it in both ways. It can affect it for the giver, not being fiscally responsible and with their finances as well, wanting to give gifts or shower their partner with gifts or children, but at the same time, not taking a closer look, like what is going on with my bottom line? What is going on with my finances? It could be on the flip side. Someone, for example, taking the money or spending it frivolously, maybe not out of love, but in a way of being selfish. So doing things that are not for the benefit of the family or for the relationship, that could really hurt. And that's probably the number one thing that does separate people or is finances when you really think about it, even though they do love the person, but maybe how they decide to spend or not to spend could make or break the relationship.
Yeah, definitely, because love affects in so many ways, perpetuity, right? And including in the arena of your mental health and physical health. As a healthcare professional, what do you say about that?
So love is the strongest energy, it says, that exists. In fact, they have made some research looking at the brain of someone when they are even thinking about love, how the reaction in the brain is different than when somebody think about something that is hurt them or affecting them. There is so many different chemical, and they say that even not feeling good or feeling love produce inflammation in the body and in the brain. Just thinking about thoughts that is not full with love, it brings inflammation to the body. And so it's really, really, really important to do that. It is so important, they even say that even when you're touching, like the cream, the cream that you, Gabriel bought a cream for me, for her, from me.
Do you have the bottle? Mine is a little far away.
I have the big one.
Yes.
It's make out. I make it with love. I used to do it only for myself. It's made with herbs and everything in it. And there is one special herb that is in it called Gotu Kola. That is an herb that helps the body to relax, to feel good, to have a positive energy in you. And then they say even when you're putting the cream or oil your body, so touching it with a loving and kind way is producing what is called oxytocin, which is an hormone, and also serotonin, an hormone of love in you. So love is all the way from people that giving you, also you give yourself. And there is such a great power of feeling and healing when you give a love to people. That's why I'm telling you, when I was watching my husband car, I did it special. You don't have to have a lot of money to show people love. And I love to work with my hands. So that's why I literally wash the car, with a towel and myself, and I feel the love. And I was blessing that car that my husband can be protected in the car and everything. That feeling of love and accomplishment so deep, that is heal the body. It heals the body.
It heals the body because I'm telling you that cream. You said you call it food for the skin. It soft me up, and it's food for the skin, right? It's good food for your skin because at the end of the day, I was lathering myself, like going all around, and I was like, I felt because that was my gift for Valentine's Day to myself because I believe that you cannot give love if you don't have love for yourself. You gotta take care of yourself. That's why we, as a community, we've been talking about money. But we don't talk about just dollar and cents, but we want to address issues that affects every aspect of your money. And love is one of the issues. Not having the right type of love around you will definitely, going back to what Lisa had said. Lisa had said that it will affect your finances and your love life. Again, I don't know, we were talking about it, Perpetua, the movie. What's love got to do with it? Love got to do with everything, with
Mhm.
everything. And do you remember that movie, Dawn? What's love got to do? How,
Yes.
Tina, who had so much,
Mhm.
she was so gifted, but two different environments, two different outcomes. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, when she really started to learn how to love herself, and she did it through spirituality, is when she fought back. And I too had a abusive ex-marriage years ago when I was young. And I said, how could you say you love me and you put your hands on me? You don't love someone if you're going to put your hands on them. It's control. It can be an obsession. And the number one rule my husband and I set when we first fell in love is that you will not call me out. We will not call one another out your names. You will not put we will not put our hands on one another out of violence. And I'm an energy reader. I feel energy. And what I loved about Reiki was that I could heal people from past love traumas. And for people that don't know what Reiki is, mine is a Japanese technique, but I found out is also a Kemetic, as an Egyptian technique as well. But basically what I do is I take energy from Mother Earth through my feet up to my heart, and from God to higher heavens through my crown chakra, and it goes into my heart, out of my arms and out of my hands into the object or situation or person that I'm healing. But I can also do it with my eyes or with my mouth by chanting certain love vibrations. So that's what I love about it, because I heal with love. Because there's just so many people that have been abused as children, abused as partners, abused as coworkers, where supervisors have abused them verbally, because just because you get out of a toxic relationship, you have to continue to learn to love yourself, because you can still attract that same energy from a coworker, from a friend, from a lover, from a child. So it's important that you love yourself first. That's the number one clue, because if you love yourself first, then you can love others like they're supposed to be loved.
Yeah, because for Valentine's Day, we talked about it was like the romantic kind of love, but the agape kind of love, when you love people unconditionally and you extend it beyond yourself. And also there's in Greek phileo, I believe it is, the friendship type of love. You have friends who are around you who are supportive, who are willing to cheer you on. When you don't feel that, when you feel this sense of heaviness, you cannot be your best, and you will not be able to maximize your potential, either financially or professionally or so many other ways. So Lisa, why do you think folks stay in these abusive, self-destructive relationships when love is the most important thing on earth? And without that, you cannot be your best.
I think
Real love, that is.
Real love, I think it could be a variety of things. Someone may not have ever experienced what real love felt like, or even knew what that was. Not having the support from at least one person can change your view of what self-love looks like. And even watching the movie on Aretha Franklin, she went through a similar experience. And it was the voices from what her mother told her about to always believe in herself and to love herself, and that she has control. Sometimes you don't realize that you're earning for that love, that touch, or the affection that you might not have received from anyone, and you don't know what it felt like. I think there's a variety of things. And usually that person who was abused, they've either witnessed abuse and thought it was okay. And then, so therefore, that's how someone shows love. They've seen it in some way or shape or form. But I think what it happens, it just takes a moment. It takes a revelation. It could even just be a conversation with someone where were getting to a moment of complete low, and there's nowhere else from low but to go up higher. It'll bring up that type of, I can do this. Sometimes those are some of the situations that can take place that make someone go from a low point to say, you know what, I'm going to pick myself up because it's the lowest I've ever been. You get to that point.
Yeah, I believe that you have to get to the lowest of the lowest point. And then also to Perpetuity, do you believe that, we've talked about having a plan for your finances, creating a plan for your budget and a budget, creating a plan for where you want to go financially, professionally. Do you think it's very important as well? We were talking about that last night, I believe. Do you think it's also very important to create a plan for your love life so that you don't keep repeating the same mistake?
Yes, yes. I say yes. If I could put that in capital letters on the screen, I would say yes. The reason is even thinking about it in a partnership. How do you plan on spending your money? What brings you joy and how much does that cost? Kind of having an idea of what you want to do with that. And also your partner to either be open to that way of life or adjusting something that is a compromise where you're like, okay, this works. You may have someone in a relationship that's more frugal who just doesn't want to spend altogether, or someone who is maybe too much of a spender that doesn't really see the consequences or not saving for a rainy day. So being in alignment on how you spend your money, not only as an individuals, but as a couple, kind of creating that, all right, this is our budget together. The rest, you do what you like to do with yours, and I'll do the rest with what I'd like to do with mine. If you don't kind of have that understanding, that could really lead to problems in the relationship, divorce, because if something happens, which usually does, either someone's roof has issues or a medical condition happens, there's always going to be some type of financial constraint in some way, shape, or form. But if you've saved, or if your credit score is great, or if there's other factors where you have prepared, so then the blow is not as significant. And that's probably the number one thing. Other people may have had trauma where they didn't have money before and they don't ever want to be in that space again. So having those conversations with your partner so they understand and coming into an agreement of how things will move forward is very important. Otherwise, you could just wait till something happens. And then that's usually when the communication breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
I know Queen is very spiritual, and also myself and Perpetuity, we have our own spirituality. I know last time when we were talking, Perpetuity, we talked about the fact that when you if you are grounded in a spiritual whatever your religion is, it's very important that you constantly be in that, like praying for your life and for your relationship, because for a lot of people, like for example, I'm a Christian, and whenever I deviate too far away from my core, I always find myself in trouble, people. I always find myself in trouble because you're gonna be making decisions that are based on fear and not based on the truth that you know. Can you talk a little bit about that, Perpetuity?
Yeah, so we talk about that. And as a matter of fact, not too long ago, and I was sitting down and think about past mistakes that I have made. It just made because of fear, not out of love. And that was something that I say to myself this year. I'm gonna try to be always in the space of love. Even when I speak to the children, when I speak of doing something, and I go deeply in myself, is it truly, do I'm truly talking from love? Because when you talk from, when you have to discipline the child and you speak with love with the child, it's not the same feeling. It doesn't go. The intention is real. When they talk about intention of what you're doing, it is real. And then because you will feel peace. It is that peace inside of you that helps you. People don't realize that how much peace, love has an impact on their health, on their physical, spiritual, and mental things. It's really, really important, because when there is no peace, there is chaos. And the cells in our body feel that too. They feel it. Mm-hmm. And the brain also, where I'd say that they make the research, when those things happening, it gives you inflammation in the brain. And we understand why right now we have a lot of people having depression, anxiety, panic attack. Mm-hmm. So much things related to their mental health is because of those chaos. And there is hope. For those people that are watching us, sometimes they say, I don't know what to do. There is herbs. That's what I love nature. God has provided every single thing that's we need on this planet. And those things are usually free. Breathing, for example, bring peace. right? And it can help you with your mental problem and can bring you back to love also. Just a couple of breathing. What else? For example, go for a walk. We know Gabriel and I, we love walking. Go outside can help quiet your mind when you feel stress, anxiety, depressed. Go out, especially during COVID. People stay too much inside in front of their computer or their cell phone. You have to go out for a walk and feel and look at. When you go out, you have to force yourself. You have to force yourself to put your focus on the creation, things around you, to be present and to really, yes, and say and admire nature. It's gonna bring peace and health in your body. It's gonna help you if you have blood pressure, even diabetes. It's lower immediately the inflammation that is going on in the body. And those things are free, right? It's free to do that.
Free, but if you are in a toxic relationship, whether it is a marital relationship or friendship or work-related relationship, business relationship, it's so hard to focus on becoming your best. And I loved going back to the movie. Tina, she's my girl. She's an old timer, but I like old timers. And seeing her in the movie, I kept saying to myself, this is someone who has everything. She's very talented. And you could tell, last week we talked about purpose. She had a plan for her life. There was a plan written before she was even born. And she was given gifts to really touch the world with her music. And yet, for many years before she left that toxic relationship, she wasn't going to be able to achieve and become her best. So many times we are in relationships with people who just are not pulling us up. They're pushing us down. And it's very important that we make the strategic decision to say, am I worth it? Can I take care of myself in this environment? Can I sleep? Insomnia.
Stagnation.
Exactly. Can I feed my soul? Is my finance going to be okay? Mm-hmm. Because this person, we talked about the financial abuse. Is this person thinking about me and our future, or they just spending and wasting everything that we're making? Because again, they have either extramarital affairs and they have multiple people to take care of with what's being brought to the family, in the family. So how do you make the decision to cultivate love for yourself and to say, enough is enough? Because going back again to something that you said, Queen, you said that the second she centered herself and she became more in tune with her spiritual life. Of course, stronger. She became a Buddhist. She became a Buddhist and she started chanting. What exactly can we do? Someone who's watching this right now saying yeah, love can really change my life. Real love can change my life because it matters. What is it that I need to do? Some actionable steps. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead, Queen.
So I mentioned before on one of your shows that I'm an AO scan technician. And I want you guys to do your research. Look up AO scan. And it's through Solex. And doctors invented this program where I have someone speak into the device for 10 seconds, and it tells you what chakras are not aligned and what chakras are blocked. And most of my scans read that the person's heart chakra is blocked. When your chakras are not aligned properly, then it becomes inflammation, like Pippa said. You wind up having health issues. But like I said, everything is energy. So when I do the scanning and I scan their voice for 10 seconds and they speak, it tells what abuse they have experienced in the past, what relationships they had, why this chakra is blocked, and it's aligning the chakras as you speak into the device as I'm sending the frequencies. And it shows a report of the previous scan of what was going on with them and the current scan. And it also tells you what colors you should wear, what vitamins you should take, but it goes in detail from your chromosomes to your skin, to your urinary tract system, to it's phenomenal. I've never seen a program like that before. So I implemented with my Reiki sessions to help so I know where to send Reiki to when I'm healing my clients. Mm-hmm. So it's important that you find a way to heal yourself by starting when you first wake up in the morning, you say, good things are coming to me every day, or good things are coming to me all day. That should be the first thing you should speak out of your mouth, so you can track that positive energy. But if you wake up, man, I got to get up and go to work. I don't want to go fight traffic, and like everything lower vibration, and fear it creates illnesses and it lowers your immune system. So that's why you should get into a career that you love, because the money's going to come because you're going to love what you're doing. And the more you love what you're doing and working, the money's going to always be there. But if you're focusing on that, I only have X amount of dollars and I don't know if I can afford this, but you're doing a job that you don't love, that you hate, that's not what we put on this earth to do. We're put on this earth to love ourselves and to love one another and to treat each other with kindness. Because I'm telling you, if you don't get it right this year, this year is like the most powerful year ever. 2022 is going to double. 2022 means double drama or double love. What are you going to go with it? It's up to you.
I'll go with double love, Alex. I want double love because you cannot be your best.
Yes.
People who don't know, those who do not know about love and understand how really love works, they'll project all their negativities on you. And it's so important because, there are, like we said earlier, multiple ways to show love, the languages of love, right? So you have to find out, if you are with a partner, what this person's needs are, right? Just like you all did this week. So, Pepiti, how do you get out of a situation if you are looking for the double kind of love and you know where you're at right now? It's not gonna happen.
Ooh, what a question!
You got it, Queen.
Because
Go ahead.
It takes courage to get out of a relationship. It takes really, especially if you have been there in that relationship, I think for years, you say, why should I? You don't want to hurt the person. If there is children involved, you don't want to hurt the children. If you are a believer or Christian, you don't want, usually if you're married, you don't want to be divorced. You don't even want to think about that. That's a sin to think about divorce. There is so many things to do, and I think it takes courage to love yourself. I don't know if you guys agree. It takes courage to love yourself. It's been not too long ago that I started really loving myself. When I started doing meditation, because I was able to see myself, the good in me and the so not too good in me. The things that I've done in the past, I'm like, what in the world I was thinking? Why I made that mistakes? And I realized that I even called them upon myself. And then this is what made me truly believe in law of attraction, because I know for sure that I attracted them with my heart. And things that I had asked with my mouth that came and that was not so good. So it takes courage to realize it, even when you're looking at portrait and you say, is it really me? And to say, I love you anyway, Babitu. I love you. And that things happened to me because I had experienced the Father's love. One day I was crying and crying for things that I struggling, be disciplined, organized, and everything. And I was crying, because I believe in God. I was crying to God, and I felt His love and telling me, I love you. I love you anyway. So you have to wake up every morning and you pray to me. That is something. Doesn't matter. And truly, I had the experience when in my mind, He told me about a tree that was really tall and nice and beautiful, but the soil was good care, good fertilizer and everything. And in my mind, it was all in my mind. And He showed me a tree that was really tiny, but that was in the middle of rocks, and that was hard. He said, everybody will looking at that tree that is big and beautiful, but the condition was so good. But that one is still valuable because he had grown middle of rocks, not a good soil. So do you think I love that tree better than this one? Your situation, because I grew up without a father's love, and that missed me so much in my childhood. I spent almost my whole childhood crying for a father's love that I did not have. And it led trauma, So, and he showed me, so I was able to experience the love of my Father in heaven. And that day, I started to really love myself, learning to love myself, learning to forgive me of some mistakes that I've done. And then, since then, I said, I will try my best to show that love. But to get out of a relationship, you have to truly, really love yourself and see that is not good. And that I found is the hardest things maybe to do. I don't know if I answered well, Gabrielle.
Oh, you did. Thank you so much for sharing, and you went deep. And I tell you, going back to the movie, I remember Tina talking to a friend, and she said, one of the scenes, right? She said, I cannot leave him. I cannot leave him because he's been hurt so much. And sometimes because we have empathy, because we've been hurt so much ourselves, right? Whether, we grew up in a very toxic environment ourselves, and we feel like you almost like made a pact with yourself. I will never do that to somebody else. And you go above and beyond, even when it's hurting you, you keep on pushing because you don't want somebody else to feel the pain that you're familiar with. But the friend finally said to her, Tina, you gotta think of yourself, because you're gonna die in this situation. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, I've been there before because of trying to love beyond even loving myself. So how do you get out of a situation, Lisa, when you've given it all that you can, but it's not gonna go anywhere? If you don't make a decision, nobody's gonna make the decision for you.
It's very true. No one will make that decision for you. And I think you get to a point that not only is your cup on empty, it's in the negative. And I think once you get to that place where you're not able to do much more, but you're still slowly trying, that's when you realize, okay, I can't keep going like this. You get to the point where your cup is really, it's beyond negative. It's going beyond the red. And that's when you finally start to be able to slow down because you have no other choice. Mm-hmm. And that's when you're saying, okay, I do need to take care of myself, because now I can't even go on, not even for this other person. And for people who are empathetic, like you mentioned, we usually have, a backup battery pack for the other person, but not for ourselves. Mm-hmm. But I think it's once you get to that point where you don't even have any more to give, that's when usually the revelation kind of comes during that moment, that time, that brink of either breaking or being able to mend. But once you get to that point, you should say, am I getting anything out of this? Is that person getting anything out of this as well? We're not getting anywhere. Anything that you do should produce fruit. When you love someone, it produces fruit. That person either changes, that person either feels energized. But if you continuously give to something that is dead or that wants to remain dead, you're only now wasting. You want to be able to put anything that you put your heart into, it must produce fruit. And that's my belief in that.
I love that.
The energy, how much does it take to give, and you get nothing in return? You're getting nothing in return. So I wanted to have this conversation because I know how important it is to have actionable steps towards goals. And I do believe that when it's time for you to cultivate love for yourself, you have to have a written plan. Folks are saying, like, why written? Can it be in my head? No, my friend. No, my friend. Please have a written plan. Write it down. I remember Dawn saying to me one time, write a letter to God. Write a letter to God and tell God, if that's what you believe in, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want in a relationship. And then you write it and pray over it. If you are a person of prayer, you do that every day. And sometimes like small steps, like maybe getting rid of that person out of your phone, right? Why do you keep the name and the contact information? Because sometimes anything can trigger you and cause you to go back, right? So there are small steps that you can take towards healing. Because I remember in the movie again, she didn't just get up one time after her friends mentioned you need to heal yourself, heal yourself, and she showed her how to do the chant. She didn't just say, okay, I'm leaving today. No, gradually she built up her strength and her muscles and her courage. And when it was time, the last blow, the last straw, she did it. So I'm hoping that your last straw is not, because it's not, for so many people, the last straw sometimes is, I don't know if you guys remember on social media, it was a posting about, I received flour today. Have you seen that? I received flour today, and she talks about the different times that she received flour, but that day was on her funeral, the flour. We don't want that for anybody, and we don't want to leave this on a bad note either. We are encouraging all of you. Let's Talk Money with Friends. We talk about everything that is relevant to money and to your life, right? Because I think I was saying it to a puppeteer earlier today that I did a program at my church called God, Money, and You, because I've always believed in talking about God, because I believe in God. Money, so important, because money answers all things. That's what the Bible says. And also, I also believe about you, the person, because without you, nothing is important without you. So it's so important that tonight, during this day of celebration of love, that you all think about your life and think about, first and foremost, how to love yourself. Would you all agree today?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to also, can I say something? We also have to realize that hurt people.
Right.
And you have to protect your energy, because there's some energy vampires that don't know how to really love. And, along with starting to learn to love yourself is the first thing you should also do when you look in the mirror, before you brush your teeth and you look your hair all over your head, you go to the bathroom, look in the mirror and say, hey, beautiful, or hey, handsome, I love you. You have to repeat that, make it a habit. After 21 days, it becomes a habit. And if someone who's watching this that needs to hear this message, if you are in an abusive relationship, get out. If you have your cell phone, you can get your cell phone, say you're ordering a pizza or you're ordering a dinner or something for your home, and dial 911 and act like you're ordering order pizza or a meal. And they'll know that you're in trouble. That's the new thing that they're doing now to get out of danger. You don't have to put up with that. Love yourself first, because that's what we are put on this earth to do, is to love one another and treat each other with love.
You'll never be able to maximize your own potential or help anybody else around you if you do not have love for yourself and love for other people. So real love matters, right, Lisa?
Yes.
Right? Yes, let's go out and find real love tonight. Go and study tonight. Find real love, because it does matter. So thank you so much again, ladies, for being on the show. I hope this was valuable information for those who are watching. If you love what you just heard here, please make a comment, tag, and also share, because it's important. Show us some love, right? Would you say, ladies? Show us some love.
Sending you Reiki love.
Can you tell them the name or how to get you? Because let me tell you, I tell her I love this. I love the scent. Yes, tell them how to get your butter.
I'll just go to my website, perpetuerobert.com, and you get the Soft Me Up. It's an herbal thing. She loves it. Because she loves nature, but it's real herbal.
It's an awesome thing, and I'm showing love to myself through this, definitely. Thank you again for your time. Have a blessed night.